Because of its rapid rise in popularity, the Olympics soon set its sights on snowboarding. In 1998, snowboarding reluctantly stepped onto the Olympic stage, dividing the tight-knit snowboarding community.
Coming up to the Olympics, there was all this hype about how Terrier wasn't going to be there. And at that point, Terrier was pretty much considered the best half-pipe rider and the person to beat. And if he wasn't there, it wasn't a real contest. And I totally agreed with that.
Things are really wrong and not really good for the sport. They're trying to put countries up against countries. It's not so much what snowboarding's about.
It was important that he was there to make that decision because there was both sides of it, and he represented that side of it.
As the Olympic team going into Nagano, we had a lot of faith in people that weren't up to the task of making snowboarding look really cool to the world.
The athlete Rebaliati Ross, member of the Canadian delegation, is disqualified and excluded from the 18th Olympic Winter Games.
It was unfortunate, you know, that they had the whole scandal with Ross testing positive for marijuana. They wanted to strip his medal, and then they finally allowed him to have it because that wasn't one of the banned substances. So because that whole thing happened, they cut 80% of the coverage of snowboarding to the American public.
If anything, you should get a bonus medal for actually being able to get a gold medal while stoned. We just felt like they needed us to get over with and get on the plane and get home. Sucked.
I'd say that's a good kickoff for the Olympics for snowboarding. I wouldn't choose to have it any other way.
Four years later, the Salt Lake City Games would show snowboarding in a much different light and forever change the mainstream's perception of the sport.
Kelly Clark won the first gold for the United States during that Olympics, and that was a huge deal. It really got the attention of the American public.
They actually gave it the coverage that it deserved, and America finally got to see snowboarding competition how it could be. People freaked out.
47 years after the last time the Americans swept anything in the Olympics, we get the U.S. snowboard team come in, and they do it. And they were the perfect package. You had the pretty boy, J.J. Thomas. You had the consummate professional, Ross Powers, and the dirtbag, Danny Cass.
I think it was kind of like a morale booster for the States. I was just more pumped that my family was there. A lot of them came out, so that's where the pride really kicked in, you know? It was like, made my mom proud. I think she cried. It was awesome. Oh my God. Cut.
With the guys in 2002, all of a sudden, snowboarders are heroes, and they're hopeful for getting more gold medals at the Olympics for years to come.
For snowboarding, the diverse culture and free-thinking attitude that has been there from the beginning will always shape the sport. And the future will be determined by the riders, who will continue to push limits and change the way mountains are ridden.
I would say snowboarding's future has always looked bright.
What's going to happen 10 years from now? You know, are they going to be getting 40 feet out of the pipe or 10 rotations in the air? Nobody can tell you where snowboarding's going to be in 10 years or what riders are going to be doing, but for sure it's going to progress.
It's changed in size. People go way bigger now because the jumps are bigger. People go fatter in the pipe because the pipe's fatter, you know? But really, it all comes down to visualization and what you can think of in your mind.
I look at a mountain completely different than a person that might just be a recreational skier does. I see the mountain as a gigantic terrain park.
Everything's rideable, everything's doable in some way or another. Your mind's always got to be working, and that's how you learn tricks. That's how you progress the sport. That's everything, is your mind's got to be open.
I think the next level in snowboarding is starting to happen now. I mean, all of us have learned all these freestyle tricks, so we're all starting to take that into the backcountry where the elements are unpredictable and, you know, you can't necessarily see over the next thing where you're going to land.
Freestyle in the backcountry is the ultimate part of snowboarding for me. And I'd tell anybody, you know, if you haven't done that, go do it, or be careful at least, because you'll get hooked.
It's something that I want to do till I can't do it anymore.
It's kind of comforting to know that something that was such a struggle is so easy now. It was a hell of a ride.
It started for all the right reasons, and it started with a group of people that were so core and so in love, so passionate about snowboarding that nobody will ever be able to take that away.